Well, hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, I will give you the buyer's guide for the Specialized Allez Sprint Comp for the 2023 season. As you see, the retail price of this bike is 3,000 US dollars, so it's definitely not a cheap bike, but we will see when we dive into the specifications what do you really get for your hard-earned money. And definitely at the end, I will give you another alternative to this bike, and I will tell you, should you just go ahead and buy it, or should you just consider it? So you see, the secret sauce of this Specialized Allez Sprint Comp is definitely the aluminum frame on this bike. So the main question is, why should you even consider buying this aluminum bike? And the only reason I can think of is the following. So let's say you have a carbon fiber bike already, and you are a bit afraid that if you crash somewhere, you will shatter your carbon fiber frame, and then you gotta just, throw it away. And then in these cases, or maybe you are thinking about doing some racing, and again, you are thinking about, well, if I crash, I don't want to totally destroy my frame, my carbon fiber frame, then definitely you should consider buying aluminum frame, because even if you crash with this aluminum bike, okay, you might get some dent into the aluminum frame, but it definitely won't shatter the same way as carbon fiber frames can shatter. Of course, you pay a penalty when it comes to aluminum frames that they are much more heavier than carbon fiber, and of course, the carbon fiber frames can have a much more supple ride. They can soak up much better some of the smaller road bumps. So this is the kind of penalty you pay if you want to go down the route of aluminum frames. Specifically, this Specialized Allez Sprint platform is all about, being as light as possible in the aluminum built, frame, and also being as stiff as possible when it comes to the aluminum frames. So keep that in mind when you think about this bike, and of course the retail price of 3,000 US dollars. When it comes to the paint scheme, there are two paint schemes on offer. One is this very classical, totally blacked out with a hint of silver, and then in my opinion there's this beautiful kind of metallic light green with a hint of silver. Absolutely, this would be the paint scheme I would go for if I'm in the market for buying this bike. As I see now, looking online, all the sizes of this bike for the UK market, for the US market online, it seems like are a bit out of the sizes. You will probably have to call your local specialized shop to really see what is available. Okay, now we can dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what do you get for your hard-earned money. As usual, we can kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So the frame set is the Specialized E5 Premium aluminum frame set with their smart weld technology. It is a hydroformed aluminum tubing with the tapered head tube, and of course internally routed cables, which is very nicely done on this bike. Really, it's a clean shape. Cables go internally, and of course there is a threaded bottom bracket on this frame, which is excellent, easy to service, easy to replace. And I will just mention that the fork on this bike is a carbon fiber fork from Specialized, 12 millimeter through axles, both front and the back, with the flat mount disc brakes. Okay, when we look at some of the smallest pieces of the cockpit, like the handlebar and the stem. So handlebar is a classical Specialized aluminum handlebar, 6061 aluminum, and also the stem, classical Specialized aluminum stem. No problems here. They are separate pieces, nothing is proprietary, so it's easy to replace or upgrade in the future. And when you look at the seat post and the seat post is an excellent S-Works Tarmac carbon fiber seat post. It's excellent because it's going to soak up so much of the smaller road bumps, and the saddle, in my opinion, again, an excellent Specialized body geometry saddle. Personally, I like these body geometry saddles. If you don't like them, it's very easy to replace, so don't worry about it too much. Now let's look at the group set on this bike. So the shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything is Shimano's 105 mechanical group set. So this is the R7000 mechanical group set and 11-speed mechanical group set. It is a superb Shimano's 105 mechanical group set. There is no complaints here from me. Just few small details. When you look at the cassette, it is a Shimano 105 11-speed cassette, but this is 1128 cassette paired with the 5236 chainrings. So I wish they've used here, for example, 1130 cassette, just to give you a bit more range. So keep that in mind in the future. If you are upgrading, you can use the 1132 or 1130 cassette. And also when you look at the chain on this bike, they've used the KMC X11 chain. I wish again that they've used the Shimano 105 level chain, but in the future when you need to replace the chain, you can always buy something from the Shimano's range, which is a 11-speed compatible chain. And of course the bottom bracket, Shimano's threaded BSA bottom bracket, totally superb, no problems here. When you look at the wheels and tires on this bike, it is a combination of DT Swiss R470 aluminum rims with the 20mm internal width. They are tubeless ready. They also use DT Swiss Champion spokes, and the hubs on these wheels are the Specialized own full sealed cartridge bearings with 12mm through axles. So both of these wheels are very classical aluminum wheel set, probably around 2 kilograms in weight in total, 2000 grams. So I wouldn't call it anything special here. This is definitely an area where in the future you might want to upgrade this wheel set to something more advanced. Is it from the Roval Specialized own range, or is it, for example, DT Swiss range? When it comes to the wheels, we have when it comes to the tires, we have the Specialized Turbo Pro tires, front and the back, 26mm tires. Again, I wish here that these tires were at least 28mm, and these are, with the inner tube tires, so they didn't turn it tubeless tires yet. You will have to do it on your own, have your own, tubeless tape and the tubeless valves. And as I was saying here, 26mm tires. Again, I wish they used 28mm tires just because of more air volume and much smoother ride. So this is something to think about in the future. Braking system on the bike, Shimano's 105 hydraulic disc brakes, front and the back. They're not mentioning the sizing of the rotors, but as I see from some of the images, I would expect 160mm at the front, and it seems to me that it might be 140mm at the back. I'm not sure quite in that, but if this is the case, again, I would advise you to have 160mm both front and the back, just because of good stopping power and good heat dissipation. You don't need a small rotors like 140mm at the back, if they are. And I will just mention here that these braking rotors are a very simple Shimano's RT64 or RT70 braking rotors. In the future, again, there is a possibility to upgrade to the Shimano Ultegra level braking rotors. So all in, just keep in mind that the retail price, as I was saying, of this bike is $3,000. And definitely the biggest competitor of this bike has to be the Trek Emonda ALR5 aluminum bike. I've made a video about this Trek Emonda ALR. You can find it on my channel in the library, and the retail price of this Trek Emonda bike is $2,300. So there's a huge difference of $700 between these two bikes. And again, some of the highlights with this Trek bike, again, is going to be a superb aluminum frame, carbon fiber fork, again Shimano 105 mechanical group set, full, so the shifters, front mech, rear mech, chain ring, cassette, chain, everything, and also Shimano 105 hydraulic disc brakes. The difference is that, of course, Trek is using their own Bontrager aluminum wheels, nothing special, and again some aluminum components on the handlebar stem and the seat post. But there's a huge price difference between these two bikes, and I'm really hard to recommend you to go with the Specialized Allez Comp with the retail price of $3,000, when for $2,300 you can get the Trek Emonda ALR5 road bike. So you see, Trek has really done an excellent job with this aluminum bike. So if you want the aluminum bike, then definitely I have to recommend you to go for the Trek Monda ALR and just kind of shortlist or consider the Specialized Allez Sprint Comp bike. If Specialized would drop the price of this bike to something about $2,500 US, then it would be a real competition between this Specialized and the Trek. In this case, in my opinion, that Trek Monda ALR is just a better value for money what you get with the 2,300 US dollars. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers.